Yes. I will put
Gomi,
the hood up.
Yep, you put it up and sort of pull it down over, sort of trying to hide where your horns used to be.
Yes.
And then, Gomi, you get back ahead of them, obviously, and you sort of find... What would Ella be doing right now while she's just letting her familiar explore?
Reading that journal.
Reading it through again? Okay.
Well, Gomi would just go up then and say, right, we've got some writs from the Lord that will allow us to act with his voice, effectively. It was probably best if you carry this, since a horse or a bear can't really show it to people.
Okie doke. I put it in my bag of holding.
Yep.
Which is getting full.
It is getting a little bit full. You're aware that it does have a limit, and if you're not careful about that limit, it will burst.
That'd be funny.
But yes, you have this writ, and sort of, as you guys are sort of preparing to sort of head out, that's when Silence and Sylph get back, and so you guys are all together again, at least briefly.
Okay.
So what's our plan then? Do we go scout the area now? Wait until things get a bit busier?
How many days is it until the festival? Well, the festival has already started, right?
Festival started, the wedding is 4 days away. In between now and then, I'd say it's about midday right now. Tomorrow, you know there's a jousting tournament happening. The day after that, there's sort of archery and more traditional melee tournaments. And then on the fourth day, sort of in the evening, is the actual day of the wedding.
Well, we should probably scout each day, just in case.
That said, Sylph would very much like to know if there's an archery tournament of some sort.
There is. It would be on the third day.
Okay, well then I'll keep that in mind.
Yep.
Is there a gnome toss tournament?
Yeah.
There
No.
isn't.
Good.
You do also hear about things like a pie eating contest, sort of, a dancing contest, sort of more traditional, sort of more villager, non-combating contests sort of happening. You've got stuff like tree chopping, pole climbing, sort of just a general assortment of contests and sort of tests of skill for people to show off and sort of burn off some energy.
Hey, Sylph.
Yes.
Wait, no, I lied. Silence, not Sylph.
Yeah. Yes.
I bet there are performers in town we should go see.
And that is my plan.
Cool. Let me know when you want to go.
Well, if you're going to do that, at least take us all, because that could get very messy.
And leave the Ritz.
Yeah, well, if anything does kick off, the writs are probably going to be void anyway.
Well, I think that we should absolutely bring the Ritz because the populace are not aware of who we are. They don't know that we're deputized.
They're aware of you.
Well, yeah.
So
But
if you go waving around a writ like that and they're aware of you and they take that to the Lord, you've basically tarnished his voice. And that's not going to end well.
Yeah, and well, the populace knows Sylph well enough. I'll stick with you, Silence. If anyone gives you trouble, the people know me well enough, I think, that, that I should be able to talk to them.
Unless they found your arrow.
What arrow?
True, I didn't even know about that. I was a spider watching people have sex at that point.
Out of context, that sounds even more hilarious.
How could you take that out of context?
Well, in that sense, it was entirely out of context. But yes. So, do you guys want to scout first and then sort of reconvene at the festival? What do you guys want to do?
I mean, now that we're deputized, we could just patrol the city and look for, or town, and look for, like, suspicious activity.
And my bird's looking outside of town.
Okay, well, if Silence is gonna...
There's the bird.
Yeah, I know, it's going mad because the light's on.
All right, that's fine.
If Silence is gonna stick inside town, then I'm just gonna stay with Silence then.
Because my thought that this is midday, I believe.
Yes, it is currently midday.
Yeah. So, I mean, there aren't going to be any kobolds sneaking around planting explosives.
Not that you can see, no.
Yeah. So, I mean, we should just check out the festival, get to like, scout the festival, basically, so we know what's up.
Like, what Gomi would do then is each day the festival's on, first off, sort of mid-morning, and then in the evening, just quickly run around as a horse and do detect object for any blasting powder.
Oh, you know what we could do?
How many times can you do that?
It's a second level spell and I have 2 slots, so I can do it twice.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying once in the morning and then once in the evening
Yeah,
before we
that's fine.
go to rest.
Sorry, Ella, you had something?
Yeah, we could go check out the mine. I mean, where we saw the kobolds run off. We
That
could
would
go
take a
check
lot of
down.
And I mean,
You're also aware that trail is very cold, and it was reported to you guys that Lord Marshedge with his knights, while you guys were off finding the druids, had tracked down the kobolds' main camp and found it abandoned.
Oh. Forgot that.
That's fine. It's been several weeks. But yeah.
Never mind, I take that back.
You guys haven't been to inspect the actual kobold camp, but yes, you were told that basically they couldn't find anything there.
Well, if we wanted to do something, we could go check that camp out. Otherwise, we can hang around town.
Well, we could possibly, both of us, ride up there one day, if you really want to.
I'm good either way.
Because we don't have horses, but I am a horse, but I can only really carry one person, so...
I would say you'd be able to carry one person plus Ella, because she's a gnome, basically. Horses can comfortably sort of... You wouldn't be able to gallop, but you would still be able to travel quite easily with 2 people on your back, or one person and a gnome.
Yeah. Okay, I'll mention that if you really want to head up there. 3 of us could go up.
Well, that's up to you guys.
Well, I mean, what would be good is if we just got the camp scouted at first. Right? So that we know it's abandoned.
And if we take a magic user, either me or Ella, we could use detect magic while we're there.
that said, I'm not missing that archery tournament.
Well, then you can stay here.
Exactly.
It's probably best if we don't leave Silencer on his own, what with all these people reacting the way they
and
are.
I have to keep self safe, so yeah,
I
can stay.
I would actually try to go up to Mira, the little halfling bartender, and just sort of take her aside a little bit and say, "So, Mira, have you heard anything new lately? Is because Silence has been getting some odd looks."
She sort of frowns and thinks and goes, "I haven't heard anything. No. I did notice the looks the children gave him this morning, but I thought they were just looks he normally gets. I mean,
It's very handsome.
She sort of turns to Silence and sort of, this is no offense, but you do look a bit unusual."
That is true.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Sylph would try to chat up some of the other, just the regular villagers in the tavern, just sort of going around and, how's your day? How's your daughter? By the way.
Single.
How's your daughter?
Yeah, she's just getting better from the flu,
Both of them are sort of chatting quite amicably, and sort of they're looking forward to going to the festival later. A lot of the people here are on sort of lunch right now from the jobs which can't stop just for the festival. So there's some people, sort of farmers, bringing in the last of the harvest and such. They'll probably be heading to the festival this evening. It does carry on quite late into the night.
That said, does Sylph get any kind of sense that there's anything, beyond what we've seen about Silence? Because, Sylph would ask at the same time.
From these people, no. Most of these are farmers, sort of men who are lifetime bachelors, almost, is how I'd describe these guys.
Gotcha.
I have a theory about why everybody's looking at Silence funny.
Go on.
Well, we know that, what's his name, Thomas?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an entertainer, and at this hour, he would be entertaining children. Scary stories about a demon in town?
Possibly. I think we should scout the city. Take a look at the festival grounds a bit.
Agreed.
I'm down.
To the festival grounds.
To the festival grounds.
Have you added extra people?
Yep.
I thought so.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so many people to burn.
This isn't... I will say, this isn't the full size of the festival. The festival is, 3 or 4 times this size. This is sort of the core central ground. The jousting track is here, sort of the larger merchant stores is here, and the big tent down at the bottom is where the wedding will be held.
This is huge.
Yeah, it is a really big festival. It's probably even bigger due to the fact that it is the Lord's wedding, and so merchants from all over have travelled here expecting increased traffic, basically. So this is a huge sort of event.
Sylph will turn to everyone else and say, I think one of us or a couple of us should check out the main tent before anything else.
Okay.
Does Gomi have the locate object spell?
I do, but I'm probably best off saving that until we actually want to run around and scout, because it only lasts 10 minutes, so it'd be quicker if I do that as a horse.
Oh, sure.
Since I can go 60 feet in a 6-second gap.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
So off to your right, sort of these red tents, you can see this is sort of merchant stalls, sort of markets, promoting their wares, sort of thing. You see sort of, weapons, trinkets, carpenters, sort of, all the stuff that nowadays you'd find at a Renaissance fair. are sort of over here and sort of happening there. To your right, you can sort of see what seems to be a free-for-all sort of buffet barbecue happening. It's not overly crowded. It's obvious people are sort of picking up things as they get hungry, so there's not a sort of desire to crowd around it. You can sort of hear cheers and sort of shouts coming from over in the jousting area. You can't see anything. The stands actually sit quite high and sort of block your view from anything which is happening, but you can sort of hear the galloping of horses and other sort of shouts. You see straight ahead of you by the entrance to the big tent, there are people standing guard, and the actual tent seems closed for now. And then often just further down, you sort of see what looks to be more sort of attraction and entertainment tents.
Let's go look at the entertainment tents. Silence.
Right, lead the way.
So Sylph will just sort of stomp off towards the main tent.
Yep, Sylph heads towards the main tent. What does Gomi do?
For now, while we're all just looking around, I'll just stick with the group.
Or the group is splitting. Sylph is heading towards
okay.
the main tent.
Yeah, no,
Silence and Ella are heading towards the entertainment tents.
I'll stick with Sylph then, so that we're not got anybody on their own.
Okay.
The entertainment tents were to the right of the big tent, right?
There.
No, it's them. All right. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, my screen's not big enough to pick up all of that. So where?
They're the cluster of 4 small blue tents just beneath the markets.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. And sort of, there are sort of crowds and activity here as well. It's just Roll20 was struggling enough with the tokens I did have. Or maybe that was just my laptop. I'm honestly not sure at this point. But you do see and in fact recognize this gentleman here sort of guarding the entrance to this tent, well, not guarding, but taking money, basically, and sort of admitting entrance and sort of calling out to the crowd, entertaining. In some of these other tents, you can sort of see jugglers, acrobats, other sort of small circus acts, etc. But this sort of tent, which he's standing outside, does seem to be the main draw. And you do recognize him as belonging to...
To what?
To the troop that was with Thomas.
All right. So we kill him, and then...
Occasionally from inside the tent, you sort of hear children's gasps, laughter, sort of that sort of stuff happening.
I bet you money that's what they're doing, is they're telling horror stories in there about us.
Probably.
I could just cast my sleep spell in there if I want to sleep, but that would probably alarm the parents.
Oh, God.
You're not here, Sylph.
I know.
Sylph has a chill run down his spine.
And if I just... Yeah, so Hellish Rebuke is... No,
Only
well,
when you attacked.
I'm not entirely sure we can get past him without him spotting us, because...
He has already seen you in the crowd.
All right, but he was not the guard who we may or may not have almost got caught by.
No, he's not that guard, but he has seen you and he's just watching you with a casual interest. And make an insight check.
Who?
Both of you. Ella and Silence.
Ooh.
Yeah, you realize he knows who you are and he's just waiting to see what you guys would do.
I say we come back later.
So yeah, what do you guys do? he's playing it casual, sort of with a false calm, basically. Like he's just there, sort of casually, still sort of taking money, and sort of he's keeping people off to the side. It's obvious this is sort of a timed event, and so he's just, he's waiting for the current group to finish so that the next group can enter, which looks like it's going to be fairly soon.
Or do you want to try to go in and watch the show?
Well, if you have the writ,
What do you guys do?
or did we not bring the writs?
What are we going to use the writ for?
Well, maybe we should check the tent, make sure it's safe for everyone. Oh yeah.
Normally, I would agree with you, but we walked by like 6 tents to get straight here.
Yeah, but there are obviously a lot of people in there. They need to be kept safe. We are deputies.
I don't think we should go in there as
And
deputies.
burn them.
All right. Should we check around the back then?
Why don't we just go watch the show? It can't be more than a couple coppers.
All
What
right.
are they going to do? Deny us entrance?
Well, they can't. Well, they could probably. Do you have any money?
I do.
What do you do? Well, I have to check.
I got you. Come on, let's just go watch.
Sure. You lead the way.
We'll get in
So-
line.
As you guys get in line, the guy actually waves you over. Like he gestures to the two of you and sort of like, come over, come over.
Yes.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, I know who you are. You're here to talk to Thomas, yes?
No, we're here to watch the show. How much is that?
For you guys, it's free. Go right in. And he sort of holds the curtain slightly aside for you guys to step in.
Thank you.
I don't like this.
You guys go in the tent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fancy.
Wow.
So, you guys step inside the tent, and it's a crude stage set up at the far end, and sort of there is Thomas at the far end, and he does appear to be telling a story. All the people here are more or less kids. There's a few adults there, but it's mostly children here. And so you sort of just sneak in and sit at the back as they are currently enraptured. And Thomas is telling a story. And
Damn it.
as you walk in, you manage to sort of seem to be catching up to. He's like, and then the beast was struck down. And great Lord Talus up above, he reached down and he clutched the horns of this beast. And he said, you will be doomed to walk the realm of men. And only those who have committed great sins will be able to see you. And upon them you will reap terrible, terrible vengeance in my name. And that will be your doom and your crime. And he shattered the beast's horns, leaving him only with stumps. And he sees you at this point. And he says, and it is said to this day that the beast still lurks. Perhaps in a town, perhaps in the wilderness, perhaps in this very tent behind you. And he points to you. And the kids turn round. They scream, legitimately scream, and stampede out the tent.
But all the kids see is a hooded red dude.
You have to be looking up to watch Thomas, and a kid is shorter than you. They will be able to see up into the hood. And so the kids flee out the tent, leaving just you two sort of sat there slightly stunned, and Thomas on stage just pissing himself laughing. Just, oh man, oh. You, my friend, have a actor's natural timing. I could not have asked for a better moment for you guys to enter. So, how can I help you?
We just wanted to hear the stories.
He gives a slight artistic bow and sort of says, I am glad you guys find them so entertaining.
I sure do.
Is this a dude, by the way?
Or
is it a statue?
That is a dude. That is
All
a half-elf. He's not holding a
Yeah.
bow. In reality, he's holding a lute, and around him are sort of several things which make it look as if he's providing basically music and percussion and sort of sound effects for the show. And he's just sort of sat there with a mild interest.
All right.
I have a theory on how to deal with this situation, but we can't do anything now.
I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking that this is actually a good thing. Because if people think I'm a demon and that only sinners can see me,
That's true.
that means that I could use that as an interrogation method. Should something happened, but obviously not to Thomas.
So, how are you guys today? How's your wallets? Your purses?
They're excellent, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. You know, mine's doing quite well as well, although I am a little troubled. You see, a strange thing happened when we were traveling. During the night, we were attacked by some vicious brigands.
Go on.
Well, I was asleep at the time, but from what my guards tell me, some very clumsy oafs tried to sneak up on our camp. And
That's terrible.
And then the cowards ran away as soon as they were confronted. I mean, you can't even get high-class bandits these days. Their incompetence astounds me.
Well, luckily for you, it's a good thing that you told the deputies. Because the gnome and I, we act with the full might of the Lord
God,
in this town.
Boy.
Do you? Do you really?
Yes.
Incredible. I'm glad they allow special considerations when they hire people.
Mm.
It must be helpful for you knowing that a half-bred fuckwit such as yourself can find
shit.
meaningful employment.
No shit. We gotta go. Silence. We gotta go.
Well,
I'm gonna start to push Silence out the door, or at least try to.
you see, Thomas, true freedom is found in discipline.
And true knowledge means something. Before you go, I
That was
have
a
to
shit
tell you,
analogy, buddy.
is Silence your name purely because they were so gobsmacked upon seeing your face? Or was that just a
Okay.
second guess after, oh my god,
I'm gonna
what the
wave.
hell is that?
In front of Silence's face and try to get his attention. I'm gonna say, be polite and professional, and we'll have a plan to kill everybody we meet. But right now we need to go.
You see, Thomas,
Damn
I
it.
listen to my friends. I'm a nice person. And I guess you and I were at peace right now. So I will leave with the gnome. But you should keep in mind that the only true peace is war.
Then I smoothly exit the tent before Thomas's can think of a clever reply.
Oh, that went about how I thought it
Before
would.
you do,
Damn it.
I'm going to need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Both of us?
No, just Silence.
Oh, good. Wisdom save.
Oh boy,
Bam.
Ooh,
that's actually pretty good.
nice.
Nice. Yep, you make the save, so you feel a wash of magic go over you. And you realize that... What on? Is that just a DC? Yeah, that's just the wisdom DC. yeah, you feel a wash of magic go over you, and you hear Thomas call out, "You know, a real monk would defend their honor, but I can see you're just a chicken shit."
Ugh.
And Silence will just brush off his shoulder, like it just got dirty from being in the tent. Just brushes it off and leaves.
You're a good man.
Thomas shrugs, and as you leave, basically people start filing back in. And he just sort of turns away and goes back to preparing for the next crowd.
And now it's time for Hellish Rebuke. Okay, no, but that's nice. I still want to check around the tent just to make sure that we don't find any suspicious barrels.
There's nothing. No suspicious barrels, no suspicious crates, anything like that.
See, I'm thinking of the kids.
You do notice several eyes upon you, several other just watching you, make sure you don't do anything.
That's totally fine.
Yep.
We should meet up with the others.
Sure.
So,
But I will help you kill them. Just saying.
While that was happening, Gomi and Sylph, you sort of approach the tent, and the guards there are kind of on edge and nervous, but they do let you in. It sort of gets to the point where you have to show them the writ to actually be let in, but once you do, they sort of let you in, and it's fairly busy inside. It's a lot of hustle and bustle. You will have to figure it right now. It is currently set up for the wedding. So there will be a lot of things there which aren't actually there. Let me put it that way. So it's basically set up. There aren't any people in here, but you can sort of see that it's set up. There's a lot of sort of benches and pews and sort of seats. Much like in the other tent, there's a small stage at the end with an altar upon it, and there's sort of these flowers just now being sort of brought in by florists, having picked the arrangement earlier and sort of being decorated, and yeah. It looks quite nice, all things considered.
Sylph would just take the time to just try to examine each of the pews, the platform, even the flowers themselves.
Yep. They make a nature check for the flowers.
Okay.
Or just an investigation check for everything, actually. That's going to be better.
Okay. Fuck.
Everything's quite busy, and so you're getting quite jostled, and you can't really get a look at them, but they just look normal. They're sort of clean wood, varnished. They look as if they've been brought down from the actual keep. The stage, again, looks well built, well made. It looks like it was actually made for this event, but the wood looks clean, looks fine. And so, yeah, you can't really detect anything.
Sylph turns to Gomi. So, I mean, everything looks fine to me. I haven't found anything. I'm not quite sure where else to look in here. Like I said, everything seems fine. The flowers are just flowers, you know.
There isn't actually that much in here. That's sort of something that you are quite aware of. It's This place is specifically set up just for the wedding. So it's sort of like the ground underneath has sort of been tamped flat so that everything's sort of nice and neat. And yeah, other than the stage, most of it's mainly empty apart from the benches.
Well, Gomi will just say to Sylph, without tearing up the ground or the stage, there's nothing we'll be able to find in here yet. My spell that I intend to use providing it's not covered in some metals, works up to 1,000 feet, so I'll easily be able to detect it from outside anyway.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I guess we'll rejoin the others then, or even then just split
At
up.
this point, the others actually walk in and would join you in the tent. Investigating it took quite a while. There is quite a large amount of benches and such here.
Okay.
Can I do a insight check just to see if I can tell that they're pissed off?
Yeah, you can do an insight check.
Never mind.
No, they come back in and sort of, you're sort of focused more on just checking things out rather than looking at your compatriots.
How's the search going, boys?
Well,
Boys.
I wasn't able to find anything in here, so it looks fine to me. I haven't heard screams or an alarm sound, so I assume everything went well with the entertainers.
You would have actually heard children's screams coming from the tent, because they did run out of screaming.
Well, I only heard a little screaming from the entertainers' tents, so I assume everything is okay, hopefully?
We're gonna have to kill him.
Are you now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Can this wait until after we've dealt with, the big possible blasting powder explosion and necromancy and all that?
Yeah,
Okay.
for
then.
me. Can you wait, Silence?
Maybe. But the good news is that the people of this town now think that I am a demon, a beast that only sinners can see.
Well,
I think we can use that to our advantage.
True.
Exactly.
However, I am not entirely sure you've scouted the tent.
What do you mean? I just looked. We took forever looking. Gomi saw me do it herself.
I just have this nagging feeling that I should maybe try and investigate myself.
You can take a look over it yourself if you'd like. Make an investigation roll.
Sylph being slighted, we'll just go ahead and walk right back outside.
Excellent roll
Silence,
there.
you investigate the bushes and you sneeze. You're not sure what it is about these plants, but they give you really bad hay fever. You just start sneezing uncontrollably. Your eyes begin to water.
Poison here, I'm not sure.
Could I do a quick nature check just to see,
Yeah.
Never mind. God, these rolls are on point. I'll just be like,
They
There you
just
go.
look like normal plants.
How about to me?
To you, they just look like normal plants. You're kind of surprised that some of these you were quite surprised that they've sort of lasted through autumn, but most of them are primarily comprised of sort of late bloomers, autumn seeds. Most of them sort of look quite natural, but have quite a heavy floral scent. But nothing there immediately jumps out to you as poisonous or.
well, Gobi would have sniffed one anyway and gone, I don't feel anything. Maybe you're just showing these flowers their sins.
I mean, maybe. Yeah. Possibly.
Well, anyway, I feel like I should do my thing and ride around with that spell on.
Yep.
Silence you.
So, yeah, who wants to join me then, just in case? I was talking to the party,
Hello?
who wants to join me? Ah, yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we haven't checked the whole, the entire area out yet, so...
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I can run around with that spell, check for blasting powder at least.
You can do that and definitely run around and check for it.
Yeah, and I'll cover as much ground as I can in 10 minutes.
Is that what you're doing?
I will do, but I want somebody to go with me, because as I'll be a horse, if we get stopped or we do sense something, it'll be good if someone's with me who can show that writ if we need to. Plus, a horse just running around will probably raise suspicions of somebody trying to corral me or something.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Ella goes with Gobi.
Can Ella ride a horse?
I would say, actually, you don't have any riding gear.
No, I don't.
No saddle or tackle. In which case, I would say that you would need to make a animal. Actually,
Acrobatics.
Well, you'd be hanging on to his mane, trying to stay on.
I would say it's not so much acrobatics, but dexterity is the right thing. So I'd say just make a dexterity check. So roll a d20 and add your dexterity modifier.
Okay. Whoops. Oh.
I will say, because Gomi is actively trying to keep you on, you can roll with advantage, and therefore we'll take the 19.
Haha.
Nice.
Thank you, God.
Gomi, make a... Actually, no, don't bother your horse. You can easily do that. You sort of ride around, and you're easily able to cover most of the area around the festival grounds. It definitely becomes easier once you get away from the crowds, because you put on the full speed and such.
Yep.
And sort of, yeah, nothing pings.
Okay. Well, once we get back here, then I'll transform back into me and go, well, I didn't sense anything, but we have several days yet.
That does cause several gasps and sort of murmurs from the crowd, because they're not used to seeing horses turn into half-orcs.
Yeah, that's true. But Gomi wouldn't even bat an eyelid to it, to be fair, so...
Yeah.
In fact, Gomi probably just thinks, oh, for fuck's sake, yes, I know I'm a half-orc, gasp away.
So, in the meantime, Sylph would very much like to just do a cursory search of the remaining tents, while, trying to be kind and explain that, look, we're under orders of Barrack, that, we've got to search everything, make sure everything's, tip-top.
So, the other sort of 3 tents near the one that Thomas was in, actually, you wouldn't know which one Thomas is in, so you'd even search in there and just sort of stick your head in there. They're all fine. There's sort of nothing untoward going on. They're mainly sort of entertainments, just sort of basic circus acts. There's, as I said, acrobats in one. Another one sort of has a stage magician, basically sort of doing things like knife throwing, escape tricks, sort of like escaping from chains and padlocks, and sort of, more feats of skill than actual magic. The other one has a couple of clowns in. And so, yeah. And then, of course, there's the Thomas one where he's once again sort of telling this story. And he sort of sees you at the back and he winks at you and just keeps on telling the story. Past the big tent, that sort of more seems to be the workers area. So this is where sort of the actual sort of camping tents are, for lack of a better word. So that sort of horse corral is, you recognize some of the horses as belonging to Thomas and Co. And so that's obviously where they're keeping them, while their wagons have sort of become the stages and part of the tents. And then sort of this small camping ground is guarded by 2 to 3 sort of guards, just making sure that no one ducks into any tents who doesn't belong there, and sort of just keeping the place well guarded. Mm-hmm. Silence, they don't let you enter.
The fuck? Alright. I'll stay out here then.
They let Sylph enter, mainly because of the writ, but they flat out refuse to let Silence enter, citing a history. with Thomas.
Ooh. All right. Well, sorry about that silence. We still got to have someone to check it out, though.
So yeah, you go in,
right
you check
ahead.
it out. It's a campsite. Sort of they've got some firewood there for a fire pit. Most of the tents, sort of the ones which the guards, a guard accompanies you just to make sure you don't take anything or anything. But sort of, yeah, most of the tents you just stick inside. There just seems to sort of, a bedroll, a sack of clothes, sort of, there's a washing line hanging some stuff up. There's food, sort of, yeah, just basic stuff that you'd often find in tents.
Yeah, as Sylph is actually, doing this, he tries to thank the people that are in their tents and, try to be unobtrusive as possible.
Yep, that's fine. And sort of, there's sort of a general rumor going around that there's something happening, mainly because of the militia being formed and sort of the recent attack on the mines. So everyone is sort of on edge, so a lot of them are more than understanding of it.
Okay.
And over on the other side, it is this isn't part of Thomas's troop. These tents here, which are arranged a bit more formally, upon investigation, you sort of find out that they're mainly knights, squires, people who are here for the tournament, mainly. And so this is where where they prepare and sort of get ready before heading out onto the tourney field. So again, these guys are a bit more upset by the intrusion, but none so much to cause trouble. And so you sort of quickly, again, scout around. You see sort of some things like plate armor, swords, etc., but that's to be expected. These guys are here for a martial tournament. And sort of jousting sticks and things like that.
I have a question.
Yep.
What sort of sound would make horses enough frightened to stampede?
That really depends on the horses and the sound and how. War horses, for example, would be completely fine with the sounds of battle. Horses during the Napoleonic era would be used to the sound of musket fire. So yeah, it really depends upon the horse.
I
know the perfect one for it, but I'm not here, so I can't help you.
Yeah, I was about to say I've got a question for Gomi in relation to the animals on site when they get back. But
the spell only lasts 10 minutes, so it'll probably only be gone about 15.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd say you're on your way back now, just because it takes Sylph a while to search every tent, and there was a bit of that issue with the guards not letting silence through. So you guys meet back up.
Okay, so Gomi, you're a druid, right? Is there any way you can actually go talk to the horses and see if they've seen anything?
No, not without a specific spell.
Ah, damn.
Which I don't think I actually have.
Speak with animals?
Yeah, I think it's like a level 3 spell.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Wild Shape gives that to you.
I don't believe so. If you check Wild Shape, I'll quickly check Speak with Animals.
Yep, can do.
Actually, no, it'd be quicker if I just go to the spell lists. I get Speak with Plants at level 3.
You can speak with plants, but not animals?
Yeah.
That seems odd.
Animal Messenger, but that's not quite the same thing. Oh, I can actually. It's first level spell, but I haven't got it prepared, so I can't yet.
It doesn't say with Wild Shape whether or not you can talk to other animals.
Yeah, well, it's got Speak with Animals as a first level spell on my spell list, so I'm guessing
Yeah.
that's what. But either way, I still have to prepare that spell, which I've not yet.
Okay. I will be right back. I just need to take a 30-second break.
Right.
Okay.
Although I could retcon it and say I did prepare it, but it's not. It's a bit metagamey.
Yeah, and we've got a couple days in any case, so that might be something to try tomorrow, because if you guys are really intent upon fucking with Thomas, we might as well get some more information out of the horses in any case.
Well,
That's if they even want
Rennie.
to speak to you.
you have Detect Magic, don't you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll just drop Detect Magic on the next day then and take Speak with Animals.
That said, detecting magic wouldn't be a bad idea in the fairgrounds. Just of course, it's not very it doesn't go very far.
It's not going to be specific.
Yeah.
It's not going to be specific. And if anybody's doing any kind of magic, it's going to pick it up.
Well,
yeah, which people probably will be.
Well, still, I mean, the village itself is not that magic oriented.
Well, you'd have like performers using it. I mean, like for example, Thomas used it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he used it offensively against you guys.
Yeah, but we'd still pick him up on it because he has magic.
Oh, so it's just anyone that can use magic too?
It's anything that's magical, anyone that has magical effects, things like that. And because he's capable of it, I believe he does show up as magical.
Well, and he's performing, and if they're using any kind of magic in performance, such as a sway to make people more scared or anything like that, it's gonna blip.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
On the other hand, we don't even know if that was Thomas.
Actually,
doing the magic.
Detect Magic does tell you which school it's from. So we could always do a quick sweep with Detect Magic to make sure there's no like necromantic magic.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, because Rose herself just said that they
You can
weren't
do that
really...
if you like.
Yeah, Rose herself said they weren't really using magic so much in the entertainment sense, so much as just like feats of skill.
Yeah, but what I mean is like, we'll detect magic from things like that, but at the same time we can tell what kind of magic it is. And we're looking specifically for anything related to necromancy.
True.
So, yeah, between the two of us, we could quickly just walk around and do detect magic and see. Although I doubt we'll detect anything, to be fair, but I suppose it's worth doing.
Also, in the lower left corner of the map, right here, there's a hole. Did Sylph take a look at that hole, or?
I'm
Which
sorry.
one? No, that's just where the trail continued off the map. I thought I'd cut that off when I exported it, but apparently no, it didn't. So that's just...
All right.
That's not a hole, no.
So that means just, like, potentially, if you were to scare the horses from here, then fuck off in this direction. Just making sure that that's...
There is a gate there. I will point that out. They are gated in.
They can be unlocked.
Well, I vote we talk to the horses and see how they feel first tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay.
I actually need to look at Speak with Animals and see what it does.
Do you want to do the detect magic and walk the grounds?
Might as well, and just see what pops up, see if there's anything specifically necromancy related.
I can do that too if you'd like.
Well, we could split up and do it, or but it doesn't really matter. I've got 4 uses of first level spells anyway. So
Go for it.
although to be fair, I'd probably use one of them on Goodberry just as standard. But
Okay.
yeah, we could just quickly do that. It probably won't even take us 10 minutes to do the central part at least.
Okay, I don't have mine equipped. It's just as a ritual, so it would take an hour for me to do it.
Ah, yeah, don't worry about it then. I'll just use a spell slot and do that.
Okay.
So yeah, I wander around and cast Detect Magic and just have a look, see what I can pick up.
Yep. You detect some magic. Sort of conjuration, illusion, sort of what you'd expect from what you've seen of some of these performances.
Yep. So nothing out of the ordinary then.
No. You see several people who bear magic, like they have that aura around them. But again, it's nothing out the ordinary.
Okay.
Like it's not as if there's anyone with a hood and a trying to remain out the way who's screaming necromancy.
That's good.
But you do sense things.
What kind of magic is that actually for tieflings? What kind of aura would they give off? Because, well, I guess it would be the same as Hellish Rebuke, basically, wouldn't it?
It's probably a sexy aura. Yeah, I mean, most of my magic
You probably
is
wouldn't actually
hellish and
detect
infernal.
any, like, you detect magic off him, but it is mostly sort of stuff like, so,
You're very mildly magical.
Yeah.
it's sort of evocation magic. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily evil. You think the spell you would need to sort of detect what a tiefling is would be detect good and evil.
Yeah, I mean, I've detected magic around Vince before anyway, so it wouldn't ring any alarm bells
Yeah.
or anything.
So, Gomi knows that someone tried to cast magic on me in...
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I know he has magic, but I don't know he tried to cast it on you because I wasn't with you.
Well, didn't I tell...
No,
that
you didn't
to
say that he
someone?
tried to cast magic or anything. Like, the only person that was with you that would be able to tell specifically is Ella,
Hello?
but she'd have to have detect magic on, I think. Like, she'd know the general effect it had if you explained it, but without having
Not-
detect
You
magic
don't even
active.
know what he tried to do. You felt a touch of magic, but you don't know what he tried to do.
Well, I mean, I don't even know it was him.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So, couldn't I just send one of the magic users to just see if there's a magic user in the tent or, like, close to the tent?
I dare say if we bumped into Thomas again and I had detect magic active, then yeah, I'd be able to tell he's a magic user. But beyond that, I wouldn't be able to tell he specifically tried to cast a spell on you. Especially if he didn't fail. Like, if I'd casted it and you were under the effects of it, I would have seen it, but you're not, because you passed it.
See, I'm trying to give Thomas an out. Like, yeah, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was someone else.
Well, if we did bump into him again and I had
Because
the
if
spell
it-
active, and you specifically said someone tried to cast a spell on me, was it him? I could say, possibly, he has magic. That's the only way it would go down. Like, I wouldn't be able to actually say, yes, he tried to cast a spell on you. And apparently we bumped into Mira.
I'm going to rejoin the call quickly because you guys keep on cutting out for me.
Okay.
Boom.
Hopefully that fixes it.
It usually seems to, at least for a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at best I could tell you, yes, Thomas has magic, but a lot of people do, so it doesn't really mean much.
Nope, you just immediately cut out again for me.
Ah, bollocks.
Shit.
Why don't we all just leave and restart the call after like a 10-minute break so we can go to the bathroom and get some more drinks and so on.
Yeah, it could work. We have been going for like 2 hours, so...
if you guys want to take a break now, we can do that. There's nothing immediately sort of urgent happening, so
Okie dokie.
Just
We
the
will- we
jousting
can-
tournament that we should check out too.
the jousting tournament is tomorrow. Sort of there's
Oh yeah.
things
shit.
happening over there, like there's demonstrations and events happening, but it's not the actual tournament yet.
All right. Never mind.
All right. Well, we'll say 10 minutes then.
Yep,
Right
10
on.
minutes.
Yep.
Okie doke.